Good morning everyone. Today I'm sharpening my snap-on Ken Onion had designed CRKT folder. Now what angle have I chosen for this? Well, I'm not a hunter, I'm not a wood chopper, I have tools for wood chopping. So I'm going to give this a super slicey edge and just sharpen it at chef sharp, which is about 15 degrees per side. I know that's a bit excessive for a EDC everyday carry knife, but it's my world. I've got the wrong glasses on. I need my stylish round ones. Back in a sec. Ah, that's better. Funny story about these glasses. I went to the optometrist and I said, I think I need glasses. So they said, well, you're in the right place. So they gave me the test. I said, right, come back in 2 weeks. We'll give you your glasses. I hate waiting. So I said, all right. Went back in 2 weeks. I said, would you like a little necklace, so you can hang your glasses? I said, no thanks. Makes me look old. I said, would you like a carry case? I said, no thanks. They lasted half an hour. I lost them within half an hour. I think they fell into the garden bin and then the bin went out that night. So what I did is I went to the pharmacy and I grabbed one of every magnification. So now I have lots of glasses everywhere, whichever ones I need. Close up, I use the 3s. Computer, I use the 2s or 2.5s. And for TV and maybe a little bit of driving if I have to, I'll use the 1.5s. So that's my funny little glasses story. I've got to tell stories because knife sharpening can be a bit boring sometimes. You'll notice I'm back onto the Blackstone. I don't know what this snap-on knife is made of, but just in case it's made of something a bit tough like 440, I thought I may as well go with the Blackstone. I was using the SunTiger yesterday with the Japanese. I don't know if you saw that short. He wanted them shiny, so I made them shiny. All right. Well, needs a bit more on this side. Just by sight, I saw straight away. Can't wait to see how the new Baz knives look. They're the same as the older batch, but you never know what you're going to get as far as sharpness goes. So we're going to do all the best testing in this video. And I hope you've got time to hang around for that because that's going to be interesting. And we might play a little game. Now, before we do that, I just want to show you something on this knife. So I don't know how I've prepared that Blackstone, but you can see that grinding is a little bit coarse. I'd like to see less grinding marks than that. So I'm going to hit it with the old 320. And my wooden block, which lowers and calms the grains down even more. Now, as far as the baz knives go, if I find that they are over 99, because all baz knives are guaranteed at 99 best or less, because nothing but the best for you guys. And I believe on their first, well, I don't know about first, but I haven't seen another knife seller guarantee the sharpness of a knife. And that's my unique proposition, is that you know that when you get your baz knife, it's been tested to be very king sharp. You know what? To hell with the expense. I'm going to give this a mirror edge. Because you guys haven't seen a mirror edge for a while, you deserve it. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, to be honest, but it could. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. But you can see that even just doing that to the wheel has smoothed out those grinding marks much smoother. See, a bit of a shine going on there even. Now a bit of tooth might be useful, but oh, didn't need to do that. But anyway, I'm changing wheels. Now when I've got a large curve like that, I like to put the belly of the curve in the middle of the knife on the wheel, and then have the heel raised a bit and the tip raised a bit in an even, so they should be roughly at the same altitude on the wheel. All right, because most of the work is going to be done on the belly and the heel, I suppose. Sorry, and the tip. The heel doesn't do that much work, so it doesn't matter if that's a little bit more obtuse, because the higher you come up the wheel, the more obtuse the angle gets. Right? That's one of the flaws of the Tormek. So I work with that, and what I do, I try and think about what part of the knife is the most important, and that's the angle that I really aim for. Now the tip, so if I was to, forget that this is crooked, but if I was to lay the knife straight like I normally do, then by the time I get up to here, the tip is really quite obtuse, which I thought was a funny word when I heard it in primary school. Right? Quite obtuse and may not be ideal. So if we can maybe lower that angle a little bit by pivoting the knife around. I mean, you can do the pivot thing. The problem with the pivot thing is that it's unreliable. How do you get the same angle every single time, right? Whereas with this, we're going to get the same angle every single time. Now, there was a pivot pin that was designed by Dr. Jim Kruciak. But, you know, you can't get those anymore. I think somebody else sells them over in Europe, but, you know, whatever. So, yeah, that's why I do that. Now, let me just take this off. Actually, I don't have to take that off. I just have to take the wheel off. This is going to be a multiple purpose video. And I'm liking the SunTiger. I believe they're a bit cheaper than the SJ250, the Japanese Tormek wheel. I don't know how long they last. Maybe they'll last a long time. I know they're very thirsty. They drink a lot of water. And I will clean that wheel with some 2000 grit wet and dry. And even though it will load up pretty quickly with metal, it's just always good to start off fresh. All right. Now, in order to match the angle, I'm not going to bother trying to match the angle with the angle finder. I'm just going to use the marker method. So I draw a black line across the bevel on both sides, even though I may not use the other side. And just, well, I know that it's going to be higher because it's a taller wheel. Oh, nailed it. I love when that happens. Check it out. Look at that. Beautiful. So hopefully this is going to look okay. Now these don't work very fast because they're a very fine wheel. But we'll give it a few passes and see where we end up. And because I moved it on the clamp now, I know that it's not going to grind exactly the same, which is a shame. But people get too pedantic about these things, especially knife angles. You know, for hundreds of thousands of years, nobody was concerned with knife angles exactly. Only pretty much since the Tormek arrived has anybody really worried about knife angles. Oops, telephone. That was a knife customer coming over in a minute. Now, I'm not the best, but I want to be. So I'm not entirely sure whether I'm doing this whole Japanese wheel thing incorrectly. Because theoretically, the finer the grind, the sharper the knife, right? That's what you'd think. But I'm not getting great results with the shiny knives. What am I doing wrong? I don't know. Could be I'm too brutal on the stropping. Don't know. Have you all visited my new shop? It's at isharpened.shop. Go and check it out. We've got merch, t-shirts, hats, coffee cups, and you can buy the Baz knife there as well. Now this generally takes a long time because the Japanese knives are so fine, the Japanese wheels are so fine. But we'll see how we go here. And because I've marked the blade edge, we'll be able to see whether we've hit the apex or not, because that's important. We're not interested in a shiny bevel, we're interested in a sharper knife. So it's very important that we hit the apex. All right, let's have a look and see what that looks like. Yeah, not too bad. I think the SJ wheel, the Tormek one, makes them a bit shinier, but they're apparently the same grit. There you go, nice little reflection shot. Feels pretty sharp. I'll give it a bit more. Try and go slower to give that wheel a chance to do its magic. Couple more on both sides and then we'll check it again. I did something interesting the other day, yesterday. I got curious, and I can't believe I haven't done this before, but I went straight from the grinding wheel straight to the kangaroo strop to see if that would remove the burr and do the thing, and it seemed to work. I don't think we need this essentially, but I could be wrong. Could be just an anomaly. We need to do a control test. So by the way, what happens when the Baz knife is delivered from the factory above 99 best? Because there'll be a few. There was in every batch there's a few that didn't quite make the cut. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come straight onto the Japanese wheel, just give it a little touch on the wheel because the blades come pretty shiny, and I think that I was talking to the manufacturer, and I think they sharpen up to about 4,000 grit. Which is the same as these wheels. But the bevel is so small because the blade is so thin at the end, we'll measure it all later, that it's very hard to tell whether it's been shined and polished or whether it's just that shiny because it's small. Now, lately I've been making quite long movies because many of you have reported that you like the long movies and you watch them on your big TVs at home and just have me playing in the background because you like the noise of the grinder. And that's a good thing. But don't forget that you can also increase the speed. So put me up to 1.25, and I think I speak slow enough in order for that to work. And if you want to slow things down, you can slow them down after, where you find a spot that you're very interested in. All right. Well, that looks a little bit more attractive. I think I can still see some grinding marks. There's no doubt that that shine is attractive. But I can still see some grinding marks, so it needs to be done properly if I'm going to get a full mirror. Oh, there's my screen, my thumbnail. All right, so let's see. Oh, where's Chili? There he is. Now, some of you have said that you want some chili merch. So what could I do with that? Maybe a print? Well, I don't know if you want a dog face on your t-shirt, but the photo that I like the best of him is this one here. What do you think of that? He's got a full head tilt going. Now, there's no burr on here. I can feel some roughness, but I think I'll try and take it off on the kangaroo. I've been told off for the way that I strop. People say I'm doing it wrong. I'm not lifting at the end, I'm rolling. I think, well, if a knife is going to be that upset at a little bit of movement, then it's not much of a knife, really, is it? How hard can it be if it can be rolled just by pushing it on some leather? So I don't think that's a myth. Could be wrong. Now, if you're not a dick about it, I don't mind being criticised. But when you come on into my house and you're all guns blazing, insults, exclamation marks, then you're just deleted from the atmosphere. Not interested. And the funniest part is that you think that you're still making comments because you can see the comments, but nobody else can. So how funny is that? Okay, well that's actually given it a bit more shine. Or has it? So you can see the grinding marks are still there. It needs more work, but I think I just wanted to give it some I wonder how sharp that is. There's something there for sure. It should be able to slice that tally-ho without problem. I mean, I see people like Neves and Alex over at Outdoors 55. They take these types of knives all the time. They do shaving, they do all sorts of stuff. So if this does not cut the paper, then it's down to me. I don't know what these are made of again, so if anybody knows what these are made of, let me know. I mean, I don't think that's a steel spec, is it? Is it? It looks like a model number to me. So yeah, CRKT, Ken Onion, snap-on. Not a bad little unit. I bought it in a batch of knives that I bought off someone. I think I bought 40 knives off them. Most of them were cheap Chinese, but you know, some of them were quality Chinese. Let's give it some soft. Nice. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. It's hard to get the reflections perfect, but you get the idea. Yeah, okay. So, and of course I'm going to use that to cut straight into cardboard, so that's funny. Now, no more paper pollution, because too many undies were bunched up because I had paper everywhere. All right, now let's give it a little slice of Rennie. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so that is going to be my knife cutter of choice on the box.